A lot of speakers like to create rules that I call Edmund's Law. It's the CRAP law. Capture, reward, automate, and prepare. You want to capture your leads. A lot of you will actually meet someone and you were networking. We've gone out, we've been networking. We had a networking group, we went to cocktails, I went to some event, and you captured them, but the business card fell to the side. I want you to capture your leads. I want you to reward the leads with certain types of messaging, certain types of events. Incidentally, everything I'm telling you today doesn't have to cost you a penny. I spend money on my marketing, but it doesn't mean that you have to. This can work for free, or it could work even better if you put a little bit of money into it. So you're capturing them, you're rewarding them, you're automating the process, meaning we're going to talk about automation, and you're going to prepare, because at the end of the day, the leads will come in and you'll be, oh damn, I didn't have the opportunity to call this guy back, and then they're gone. And then you're nodding, and they're gone, because that is the speed of what's going on with business. It's the methodology for what you actually do with the leads that really matters. CRAP, capture, reward, automate, prepare. How many people do you really know? And now I'm going to give some evidence behind why this actually works. I was researching this. According to an article in the New York Times in February of 2013, the average American knows 600 people. That is your friend, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your colleagues, the dry cleaner, anyone that you know at a handshake. The average American knows 600 people. I decided to take that a step further. We call that a first degree connection. Larry and I have a first degree connection. I know that I'm going to be able to say hi, and I've got him in my first degree. That's a first degree connection. Samantha's boyfriend is my second degree connection, because I've never met the guy. Now, if I came up with a great reason for Samantha to introduce me to him, I hope she's a lovely lady. I hope she introduces me at some point to this guy. But that's a second degree connection. And that is where a lot of great stuff happens in marketing. It's where a lot of great stuff. And here's a step further. If you take a look at your 600 people in your first degree and the 600 people that they know in their second degree, and multiply the two, you get 360,000 people in your second degree. 360,000 people like Samantha's boyfriends is in my sphere. I could actually gain access. That's the big question. How do I gain access to people like this? So my whole philosophy here and everything that I'm doing is trying to gain access to that elusive second degree. There are technologies where you could call and leave a voicemail for 1,000 people at once. Anybody get a voicemail from me yesterday? Let me see some hands. A couple of you? Okay, you got a voice. That was a technology called Slide Broadcast. I'm getting 6 leads and lead sources per day is my goal to put into my database. And I will call them all at least once a month with a slide dial. But I have to be very crafty about the kind of message that they get. And by the way, it's working. Now you might ask, does it piss some people off? Of course it does. Do people unsubscribe? Every day. If I'm going to get 6 leads a day, you could expect some unsubscriptions every day. But the methodology long-term has been working. There are technologies now, feel free to Google this, that you could automate your texting. You could send a text message to 1,000 people at once with your telephone number on it. Again, it can be abused. I'm not suggesting that you send crap or spam. What I'm saying is that there are technologies that are available. And again, we could go through what the name technologies are at some point. I just want you to be aware of the possibility. I use something for both of these things called conversion. But I'm not saying that you have to use conversion. I don't care what technology you use. You just need to be aware that the technology exists. Broadcast controlled messages. Anybody who's connected to me on social media? Could I see some hands? Okay, almost all of you. There's a method to the madness. There's a reason why you see on one day my dancing to DJ Khaled with my youngest daughter, and then the next day this was just sold. It's actually very deliberate, and it's very much part of my brand. And it's been working because I'm finding that I'm able to engage people online. I take the conversation a little bit further, and I try and add just another brick in the wall. Can they now get my newsletter? Can they now get on another social media connect? Can I get them on my cocktail party list so that they get an invite to the cocktail party that I do roughly every 2 months? And all this or my quarterly cocktail party in New York, where I try and get people that I know in Manhattan to get together with me who've been a great lead source. All of these things, there's a method behind all of this to do this. AI, anyone ever hear of the term artificial intelligence? AI, a good example of AI you might have in your home right now is the Alexa app, or on your iPhone, Siri. This is just the beginning of artificial intelligence. A lot of this stuff can begin to respond for you. If anybody get a text from me, okay, that was a mass text as well. If you open up that text that you got saying about the event, click back and say, who is this? And see what happens. Artificial intelligence. It'll get back to you. Oh, it's Edmund Bogen, the realtor in Boca Raton, whatever it says. I mean, I'm using a company called Conversion. And again, but I'm deliberately staying away from that because I don't think all of you need to know what technology or what company to use. I don't care about that. Just be aware that the technology is there. And if you want to meet up and individually build up which tools you want, I'll be glad to do that with you. So that's the kind of thinking I want to put in. Predictive analytics. There are companies right now, and I think all of you are going to love this, that could tell, they look into 500 different aspects of a homeowner. 500 different attributes. How old are you? How long have you lived in the home? Do you have a mortgage? How many more years of the mortgage is left? And 494 other things. And they will come up with 50% accuracy of whether that person will list their home in the next 18 months. 50% accuracy. Holy shit, that's amazing. That's an amazing technology. I mean, now the question becomes when you get those people, if you've actually bought into this, what are you going to do? What's going to be the crap? You capture them, how are they going to be rewarded? And how are you going to automate this process and keep it in a way that's going to actually facilitate business? AI is something that all of you really need to pay attention to. And I don't want to hear from somebody, I'm not much of a technology person. I bet the guy that was still using carrier pigeons didn't want to be into telephones when they came out. But you know what? You'll be run over with a locomotive. So just keep in mind that this stuff is coming and it's getting easier and easier and easier to utilize. People like to do business with happy people, and I am. People like to do business with family men, and I am. People like to do business with people that love their kids. I love my kids more than life. I think it really gets conveyed on that. It also helps me build relationships with people up north who are lead sources for me. So by putting it out there, now would I put it out there anyway? Probably, but not necessarily in the order that I do it in. I'm really trying to use that brand. And you might say, well, Ed, is it right to pimp your kids out? I don't know. I got college. Yeah, college in September. We better sell some houses here. Come on. Okay. The channels that I use. And I use everything here except for Twitter right now. And that's just me. I don't have any particular preference for what you use, but these are all free, by the way. Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook. Constant Contact's not free, and I put it in with the slide because I just didn't want to give it its own slide. But I pay very little money for Constant Contact to be able to reach out to my sphere. There's some paid channels too. I'm going to go through that as well. But okay, here, getting to your question. The business post. Through social media, a relationship that Tinka and I made with an agent in New York. We had it listed for 16 days and it sold 2 weeks ago. So it was a business post that you're used to seeing. Another post that you can consider is the commentary to try and get people to get engaged in a conversation. I've been getting very good at this on Facebook. Newsflash, high school bans luxury coats to prevent poverty shaming. Thoughts? I'm not taking a side. I don't want to get too political. If you love Trump, you're the greatest. If you love Clinton, you're the greatest. I don't care. I want to sell real estate. I'm for Team Ed here. And I want you to be for Team U. But this got a whole conversation going. And there were people who normally did not engage with me that I was able to engage with further. And guess what? Bring them into other social media. And then get them into other, get them onto a party list. Or then find out who else they might know that's coming down here. It's actually using the technology to be able to gather interaction. And the good news is you could do this on the fly. You could post it in the morning, and then at lunch with your iPhone, just sit and start to engage in some of these conversations. Everyone is so right. Everyone loves to engage. Everyone loves to get their thought out there. They can't resist it. So if you do it properly and you don't piss someone off, or at least not piss them off too much. And then, of course, the family post. That's Sophie and I doing DJ Khaled at her bat mitzvah. The video was really spectacular. You should watch it sometime. I was really good. I killed Ludacris. I really did. Sophie was okay. No, okay? You think the children are our future. I'm our future. But yeah, so those are basically, we got the business post, we got the family post, and we've got the provocative commentary. Look back at everything I posted. It usually is along those 3 lines. Videos rank higher. And we could take a look at this one here, and I hope you could hear it. Most of you know I had bariatric surgery in May of 2017 and lost 100 pounds. And my daughter, this is my oldest daughter, Chloe, and I made a before and after video that was the simplest video I've ever made. It's going to seem like we used some type of trick photography. We didn't. Okay, so this is the video. I show this because this is my #1 video of 2018.
God, Daddy, you really need to lose some weight.
Oh, yeah. Okay, here.
Oh, Daddy, I'm so proud of you.
Hey! Now, wouldn't it be great if it was that easy?
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
That got more conversation, more interaction, And let's take a look at some of the reasons why. More than half the country is drowning under their own fat. And they're shamed about it, and they can't talk about it, and they're hiding with it. And they're looking at the posts of all the beautiful people, and they're saying, wow, that's not me. Here I put this up. And, people say, well, you really want to talk about the surgery? I'm like, damn right I did. It cost me a fortune. I wear that like a lady wears in her Hermes bag. Are you kidding me? This is great stuff. There's certain communities. There's a woman who lives in St. Andrews Country Club, where I live. And she started a virtual community, which is for bereavement, that people who've lost loved ones go on, and it sounds sad to me, but she said that it's actually a very refreshing group that have gone through a lot of the same stuff, and she now has 15,000 members. If you want to see something on Facebook, I wish I thought of this, but again, I couldn't compete anyway. Boca Moms. She's got 9,400 Boca Moms. And if she finds out that you're a realtor, you're out of there. She'll kick you out of the group. That's what I hear anyway. Again, I don't know. I'm not a mom. I'm not part of the group. But what a brilliant thing for her to have started. There's a group in you. There's something in you that I could not compete with in a million years. There's stuff that you've got going on for you that's going to put you ahead of the pack. For me, maybe it's my kids, maybe it's my weight, maybe it's social media, whatever it might be. All of you have something in you that is the magic sauce that other people can't compete with. I went to someone's home at St. Andrews, a listing appointment, $3.5 million listing. I really wanted this. And I need it. Boy, I really, really wanted this. And I went up against another woman. And the guy said to me at the end of it, he said, Ed, your presentation crushed it. It was so much better than hers. I'm like, great, let me get the paperwork. And he said, but I don't think real estate is something that a man should sell. I see it as a woman's business. Can you imagine if it was the other way around? So I looked at him and I said, we're going to break through that glass ceiling. You'll see someday. But look, in other words, we're all going to be discriminated against something. And it sucked. I really wanted the deal, but it was interesting because if he has that bias, somebody else has that bias. And I think it was shortly thereafter that I started doing stuff with Tinka. I noticed I needed a dose of estrogen. Anyway, the free channels that I use. And this is stuff in real time right now. Instagram, 1,500 followers. I get 900 weekly engagements. Facebook, 3,800 followers. I have 1,200 weekly engagements. LinkedIn, 1,600 followers. I've got 250 weekly engagements. YouTube, Samantha McMenamin, this is what we're going to work on this year. I've got only 150 followers, but I still get 250 weekly engagements. This is something that could really be grown. This is something that could be reached out to. And I've got 1,400 subscribers to Constant Contact, and it's growing by leaps and bounds, and you'll see why soon. And I get 300 weekly email opens. So if we take that a step further, we could see that there's 2,900 active and engaged views. This is really free advertising. Any one post that you do, it's like you scream into the mountain and you're waiting to hear an echo back. I'm finally starting to hear the echo. I mean, this has been years in the making. It doesn't mean that it has to go that long for you, but it really is something that you're saying, oh, I'm just shoveling sand against the tide. This is nothing. And it's not nothing. It's another brick in the wall. Let's talk about how I put this all together. This is Joe Lead. Joe Lead is now getting my weekly email. He gets it on Tuesday mornings at 6:35 a.m. It goes out. My Tuesday email went out yesterday afternoon, and I think many of you are now on that list. And if you want to be added, I'll be glad to add you if you're not. He gets listing alerts through my CRM I set up where we find that $600,000 to $900,000 three-bedroom condominium in Delray. Let's get that sent out to him as these things come on the market. The Sly broadcast, the voicemail that a lot of you got from me yesterday, as I said, was sent to 64 people at once. And lo and behold, it worked. You're here. I'm happy. He will get a Sly broadcast from me once a month. Social Media Connect, maybe. I wish I could just connect with everybody that they would accept it all the time. Most of the time it's getting more and more that I'm getting them connected on Facebook and Instagram. Terrific. He's definitely getting invited to my cocktail party every 2 months. I've had 60, 70 people come, and the event cost me less than $1,000. And we're talking about a DJ, we're talking about food, and we're talking about an open bar. Right. Periodic text messages. If you have anything that's relevant, let's go back to special messaging. In 2 days, if you don't pay your property taxes in Palm Beach County, you're going to be penalized by 4%. Has anybody told the people they've sold their homes to? It might be a great time to pick up the phone today and give them a call. Or send them a text. Haven't spoken in a while. If you don't pay that tax by the end of the month, you're going to pay more. You might want to pay it. Special messaging. It's not a bad thing to do. If you have anybody in your sphere, it might be a good thing to reach out to them with. I'm not saying to take yourself out of the equation entirely. You still have to make phone calls every now and then. So I do make personal phone calls. I try and make 20 dials a day. Paid channels. And again, you may or may not want to pay, but I'm going to give you this month's numbers. $500 a month, Facebook and Instagram. It's one company. 500 total, not separate. I've gotten 40 leads this month out of that. 500 a month in Google, pay-per-click ads. I got 30 leads this month. 200 per month in FSBR. The jury's still out on this one. This aggregates for sale by owners and gets your messaging to them in a pretty unique way. I got 7 leads per month, on average, definitely 7 this month, successful. These 2 I've got right now under Google. This house under contract came from Google, and another one I'm about to make an offer on came from Facebook, so it's working. Because again, I just don't want all of you to be scared. A lot of you said they were really scared of technology. I don't want you to be scared of it. This is designed to help, not harm, and it is getting easier and easier to use. But I just wanted to throw some of those out to think about. Now, here's the good stuff, my 2018 numbers. In 2018, I secured 14 deals. I got 775 leads and lead sources that were added to my database. I closed 1 deal for every 55.36 resources added, or 1.8% close rate, and the average deal size was $650,000. I think the exciting part behind this is there's 2 numbers that I need to pick up. One, this number, the 775, I want to go to 2,200 this year. I want to get 6 leads a day, leads and lead sources a day. This month I beat that. Next month, I hope to beat that as well. That's a goal of mine, to get 6 leads and lead sources a day. I want to bring this number, the 1.8% closing rate, up to 2.3%. I want to go up a full 0.5%. If I could do those 2 things, I will close 50 deals in 2019. I'm saying this publicly. The psychologists call it communicative commitment. By actually putting it out there, I'm putting my ass on the line. And I want all of you to basically hold me to it. Hold me to the goals. So let's look at the statistics here. Statistically, the average American will move just under once every 7 years. As you get older, it slows down a little bit. And we're counting on rentals and a lot of crap homes that none of us really want to sell. I mean, that's just the truth. There are 1.9 million people living in Palm Beach County. There are, I want to say, 475,000 residences in Palm Beach County. I got to look that one up again. Don't hold me to that number. But the point is that if you divide that by 7, you should get the actual number of transactions that are taking place. Actually, as of this morning, there were 55,000 people or 55,000 homes on our MLS. So if you multiply that times 7, you'll see that that's 350,000 homes. So my number might be a little bit off, and there's also rentals and all that we're not counting. So the number's not that far off. So that's why when the New Yorkers say, well, the market's tanking here, is it going to tank there? It might, but we only have 93,000 people that live in Boca. It's a much smaller market. We got to remind ourselves of that. So, okay, well, I thank everyone for coming today. This was great. Look online, please.